When I was 15 years old, I was dating a boy and got pregnant. My mom panicked, being a single mom, wanting to do what's best for her child, and she thought it would be best if I had an abortion. I never really felt that I had a choice, but I'm not sure I would have made a different choice if the choice was up to me. It was a very frightening experience and very, very traumatic, and I remember waiting in the waiting room afterwards and just feeling numb, emotionally, mentally, physically. You know, after that, I just started leading a very self-destructive lifestyle, and not long after that, I met another equally dysfunctional and self-destructive man, and somehow our dysfunctions worked together. And for 14 years, we were together, had gotten married, and just lived a life of codependency, mental abuse, alcoholism. And one day a friend invited us to a Bible study, and that's where I met Jesus. My husband left that same year, and I found myself alone for the very first time. I had shared a testimony, and only in brief mentioning the abortion that I had in my past. And a friend of mine began praying for me, that I would seek healing for that. And she approached me and asked if I would consider going to a post-abortion healing program at our local pregnancy center. And all I could think to myself was, well, why? I'm already forgiven. But I didn't understand at the time there's a difference between forgiveness and healing. I signed up to go to the program, and I remember bumping into another friend at church who had gone through a similar program years before, and kind of just asked her, you know, what's it going to be like? And she got real quiet and said to me, well, you're going to be asked to give your child a name. I had never heard of anything like that before, and it was very difficult, and I struggled with that. And I went home, and I remember, you know, just crying out to God. I don't want to do this. But then I also felt like, well, this is all I have left to give this child is a name. I went to the retreat, and during that time we had an opportunity to share what we wanted as a wish, and what I wanted from God was a new heart. I knew I was saved, but there was something in my heart that was still broken, that was still dark, and it was the memory of my child that was still kept kind of imprisoned. And in order for me to be set free, I needed to set her memory free, and that's what God allowed me to do. And He did a miracle that day by allowing me to see a vision of my daughter in heaven. It was really difficult. It was rather painful, but at the same time, it's the most wonderful thing that's ever happened to me, and God used it to bring hope to others, that there is hope after abortion. I began being invited to share my story at churches and pregnancy center fundraisers and other places like that, and it seems that, you know, God was just allowing me to serve Him in this exciting way. He spoke to my heart about writing my story. I love to write, and so I published a small book for post-abortion healing. It's dedicated to my daughter in heaven, who I named Amanda. Amanda means worthy of love, which is the title of the book. You know, sometimes we think that certain sins are unforgivable, and abortion's one of those that some struggle with. But, you know, when we put anything as higher or more powerful than the cross, we deny Christ. We deny what He did. The cross is bigger than any sin. He's bigger than anything that any of us could do. I needed God to free me from the prison that I had built within my heart. I mean, in that prison was the memory of my daughter, but the truth was I was the one that was imprisoned by it. God set me free from the prison that I built myself, and that's what I needed from Him.